Page 7. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, to emerge from giving and the rest, to aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest, to aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest, to aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one God beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious, the subduer of the Shaka clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shaka clan. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely and fully awakened one, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shaka clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With a supreme sign, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the one gone to lessness I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, the Dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy few qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts. To you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the Great Sangha. To all worthy of respect, vowing with bodies as many as all realms, in all aspects. With supreme faith, I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Your mind thoroughly, this is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the foe of falsehood, and be delivered from samsara's ocean. From Tushita's hundreds of God's protectors are to tip of this fresh, pure white heaped bird-like cloud, full of Sangdrapa, Dharma's omniscient king. Pray come to this place with your disciples, in space ahead on lion throne, lotus and moon, spread doctrine as supreme merit. Feel for my mind of faith, your wisdom I seize, full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns fortunate. Your beauteous body, famed glory outstanding. Homage to you, worthwhile to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light perfume, and so on. Oceans of offerings set out and envisioned, offered up to you, supreme field of merit, non-virtue committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted three vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned mundane concerns, made life essence-full. O protector from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable gurus from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your dharma, kaya sky, pray loose a rain of past profound dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I here gather bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make venerable laws Sandrapas, essential teaching specially shine forever. Migme se wei chen racing, dream kien bei wang po yang pel yang, tu kung maru jom se song wei da, tong chen ke pei su kien so ka lo song tra pei sha ba so wide. Oh, glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. Oh, glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remains steadfast. Homage to the exalted three jewels. Thus have I heard at one time, when the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Dolce Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomenon called profound illumination. At that very time, the superior Alakshara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, looking perfectly at the practice of profound perfection of wisdom, and the existence of the five aggregates also. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to the superior Alakshara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, how should a child go lineage trained who wishes to engage in the practice of profound perfection of wisdom? Within the superior alchemy, Shara the Bodhisattva, the great being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wish to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, subsequently looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of the inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, are empty, without characteristics, that is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visible form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, no mental phenomena. Eye element and so forth, up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance, up to no aging and death and no cessation of aging. There is no suffering, no origin, no cessation, and no path. No exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom, and because their minds have no obstructions, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. Becomes, by relying upon the perfection of wisdom, become manifest in complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, equal to the unequal mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, since it is not for the mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tathagata gate gate para gate para samgate bodhi. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva in the profound perfection of wisdom. It arose from that concentration and said to the superior alchemy, Shara the Bodhisattva, the great being. Well said. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught. Shariputra, the superior alchemy, Shara the Bodhisattva. Worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods. In the Holy Supreme voice of miraculous power. Homage to the host of the three places, the kings. Tayato, Aragate Para, Samgate Bodhi Soul, through the power of truth of the exalted region speech. Negativity such as the form ours be stopped, may they become all enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, Shanti Gurye, soul, 80,000 types of obstructions, free from adverse harmful conditions, and all be complacent. Bring happiness and well-being here right now. Sashi Poki Chukshin Echo Shwamri Abrinchi Nide Yemari Sangye Jindu Mide Gidro Nundakshin Inga Chaparsho Jesu Lam Dhamma Akyen Chuicho Okukala Kyense Idrin Taki Shunin Kipe Sonam Gi Drola Penshe Songi Druparsho Choda Sogi Shomnala Jamshu Bardu Dati Yapsuchi Taki Shunin Kipe Sonam Gi Drola Penshe Songi Druparsho Choda Sogi Shomnala Jamshu Bardu Dati Yapsuchi Taki Shunin Kipe Sonam Gi Drola Penshe Songi Druparsho.
Good. Good evening. Good morning. Good morning to India. India time. For Tibetan time. In Tibetan here exactly 24 hours. But 12 hours. Yeah, 12 exactly. If you didn't change time, right now in Tibetan morning 7:27. Exactly 12 hours? 12 hours, right? Between Tibetan and here. Really? Yeah. It's exactly.
12 ahead or 12 behind?
Right now the morning. Yeah. Here's evening, there morning. Yeah. But this I think we are late. Here what 20? Today is what? Today Wednesday, right? They are Thursday morning. Anyway. Okay. Where we start? Where we start? Are we just continue to start to complicated place? Anyway, this is a complicated subject, very complicated. It makes we have to think a lot. But don't give up. You know, even they can imprint, a lot of imprints. Also very good this whole logic. The Buddhism is a very logic for how you say how you say what you call it? Another word, no, I forgot. How you say? Describe. Describe? Analyze or I think describe. Describe everything. Discover.
Okay.
Not discover, no.
Describe.
Describe?
Using logic to describe.
Yeah, either I'm some person describe, right? Like
We know what you mean.
you know, explain. I think easy to explain to reality or the world. Right? Therefore, it's very logically, if you're thinking more, it's real to like science. Like science say, okay, this is a book. Right? Everyone's book. Except everyone. Then we can take out 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages, all the pages. They will become paper. The paper come more, what they make paper? What? Yeah. It's wood. Like the wood, it become more small. Very, very small atoms. We couldn't see. Only the, how you say? Microscope. Even it could be hand like this. Even Buddhism said, so many small atoms running here. We didn't see. Atoms? Small atoms? Very, very tiny. Like that, in Buddhism also exactly, like we say, like solar car. Then they become smaller. they can describe, explain. It's really like, also like destination, far, short, here to here, how you say? Distance. Distance. The Buddha's term, the, okay. Vinaya, then what? 5 different books. I don't know. No baskets. Anyway, the one book explains for a distance, what I say? Distance. How far? How we do that? 500 yards, 1,000 yards. Now we really think about like that. Even Buddha's time, like that time, we have not measured. How they know? But they talk about this, then this, then this, then like this, then like that. Like they can call different names. Like here, 1 inch, right? Western, we call 1 inch. This is what? It's inch. Then what? 5 inch. That's the what is. How you call this? How you call this? A feet. Then how about this? Yard, like that. They already, Buddha's time, they describe. But is it really exactly like this time the science, the measurements the science made, exactly very catch or very similar. Therefore, small, big also, they're exactly, small atoms, they say, we couldn't see. Then they become big, little big, we call like that. All different things they describe. Like therefore, it's really follow like the science. It's very logically. Science, people really see, then they can accept. People doesn't see, they don't accept, right? Therefore, now this is so reality. We have to do reality. Therefore, like this is also part of the Dharmakati. Correct? Dharmakati? Basabandhu? Like it's very logically. Even they say Buddha's the, Buddha's unmystic person. Because what he said, what he explains, it is reality, it's not mistake. Like that kind of book, they explains. Therefore, this is a really logic, also develop for our logic. So many true thinking. We say because, we couldn't say, yes, we have to that. Not like that. Because that, it is impermanent. Because that, it is, human beings. Because that, they're all reasons. Then we check logically the reasons is fixed or it makes sense or not. Therefore, all different, yes.
I have some question about for example, when they give the example of sound is impermanent because it's a product, right? You can say, okay, sound is impermanent because it's a product. But why is something being a product? Why does it make something impermanent?
Yeah, this is good. We said the pillars, how's that? Product, right?
Product?
How is that?
It's a product.
It's product.
It's a result. It is a result.
No result. Product means what?
Product is something that
Put together.
It's something that is made up of a lot of different parts.
Yeah, therefore, like example, this is we take just this house. No one said it's product that impermanent. No one said that. It's the reality. Like example, it's a house. It's product, right? House put together, or maybe we said this iPad is product. This all put together. A piece. It's not just solid coming. Do you understand? is we can broke it. We can mix just complete, how you say, small. It is impermanent. We can see it. Not someone say, it has that product they have to implement. Not like that. It's a reality. Some no one make, not just pop that. Do you understand? Like example, this apple is not big as like this beginning, right? First they come, this is very small, right? I didn't saw when apples come. But that's very small inside the seed, they put underground, then they as I produce the tree produce the apple. First apple was very, very, very tiny. They would change moment to moment, change moment to bigger, bigger, bigger. Then we just leave that, we don't take out, then the time or the power of God, they become bad. Then everybody, how is it, small, we take what we can eat, but we just leave the outside ground. Then they lose the power, how much they keep. Then they become more, how is it, right? Rod, like they become old. Then they, if still we live, they become like water, right? Like there we can see, first small, bigger. The way they grow up, they stay like grow bad, then they become bad. It shows to moment to moment change. Like the leaves, now leaves give color change. It's not changing one time, it's not changing one day. Slowly. Right? Therefore we put like this iPad. It's not something put one together, one thing. Small piece put together. Then we make like big things. Do you understand? Do you understand like that?
I understand that things are made up of other things, but I don't understand why that makes them permanent.
No, permanent means what? Permanent, impermanent means, permanent means unchanging. The sound is permanent, right? Sound is impermanent. Correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't really think about it too much to realize.
No, this is impermanent or permanent?
Impermanent.
Impermanent. It's impermanent, right? Impermanent is what? Impermanent means what? Changing.
Not eternal.
Yeah, all the time change. Moment to moment. That kind of things we call permanent. You understand?
I understand.
Therefore, this is the name and permanent. No one just make. The moment to moment change, the things broke, like things, like they're always changing, like small. Also the change also not just changing the automatic, they change from the conditions, push the conditions. Therefore we call this permanent. I always missing that. Permanent, impermanent.
You can say not permanent.
Not permanent. It's impermanent.
Permanent, not permanent.
Okay. Permanent means what? Permanent means no change. Therefore, impermanent. Impermanent means all the change, right? Therefore, like that kind of things we call impermanent. Also, when we see eyes, we can see, our eye can see, we can hear, we can touch, all that kind of things we call impermanent.
Is it because it's made up of elements, like water and earth and
We can say that also.
those things are not
It's,
changing?
I think
You
now,
can also think about it as you can never fix it in time.
I think we can talk with thumbs is better now. Otherwise, I don't want to miss what you got for you guys too. Hey guy, where are you? Where are you? Are you there? Hello?
Hello.
Supposedly. Okay. Do you guys heard? It's good? Good? You'll go there. Still go there. 아주 고대.
I will take a nap.
고대.
Take a nap.
Yes, go and take a nap.
고대. Maybe he doesn't know.
Good.
고대.
Oh, good. This is good, 저기.
고다. 왜? 이거들? Good. 고도 야구 도움 드린 게 난데.
빠르면서.
아,
첫 번째 되죠.
오케이. It's changing. 야구 고도.
계속 거기서 파티 야구.
오케이. 빠도 매워 간소로.
다 저러면 다 땅돈에 대해서 패스하는 보이시부터.
아,
보이시부터 저러 하라.
다 고도.
땅돈에 하나 치 땅다.
다. 이거.
어야.
다 고도.
나야 뭐.
Okay. Now that you guys doesn't see. 다 고도.
나야 뭐.
Do you guys heard? 뭐야? 다 못 따와서 가려서 고속해야 되겠다.
메타버스 메타버스.
네, 뺀.
땅돈 많이 되면 메타버스 여자.
그렇다. 가요. 포렉스 가요. 포렉스.
아,
포렉스. 하이세. 롤. 포렉스.
버릇은 제발.
아니 시와 아래래 시와. 간제 딱 봐도 못 따와서는데 채워지도 와. 대치고 미치고 소시하다 말해서 와. 근데 이자 시와서 때단 대지 몸보지 twe바한테 코 도도 샤샤한테 아니 시바스. 지체한테 시바라 말해서 와.
So when we talk about the product, it means something that is produced by dependent cause and condition, or something that is produced by many things coming together.
It's good. It's clear.
Is it clear?
Is voice clear? Okay. 근데 이제 따봤어야 돼. 아니 코로나 요가다 제다 째나라 말해봐. 아니 자세히 야무나 두서 뛰족전에 샤워 들리지라고 그래서 와.
And the permanent thing is opposite of that, in a sense that the permanent thing is also existence. It exists, but it does not depend on cause and condition. It's not something that is compiled of many things together, and but it does have that thing that it depends on a name or part and so forth.
Good. Can you hear? 들이다 못다바지 니보지 시와 된다나 지바레스 그 미다다 가다 하잖아. 된다 지바레스.
And so when we talk about the impermanent thing, impermanent or functional thing, and the product, they all have same meaning. So they're all synonymous. It's just that they have different names.
이나 강나다 로이라 축가를 가면 요르와 로이라 하고 먹을 가를 요르.
So, but of course, there's a difference in a sense that it is easier to understand some of it, but not very easy to understand the other. Like, when it's a product, it may be more easy to understand that to say impermanent.
그러와 배차서는 먼저 애플 눈을 먼저 애플 시었어. 애플 때 코드 제나 때문에 너무 주주지 되는 것도 민 통기도 고체체체 와는 것도 민 통고여러 봐.
So, for example, the apple that we see in the front here, it was just a seed before, right? And then it grew into apple, and you see that it was very small before, and then it became bigger and bigger right in front of our eyes.
그래서 다고 셰바 제가 되는 셰바 에만 좀 통고요 들어와.
And so that we can see that it was produced by cause and condition.
근데 그 애플이 제가 그 남시 차례도 야보 고요. 최도 야보 고요. 대나도 하고 대단한도 출룩 남시 차례 따당도 선고요 들어와.
And for that apple to grow into a proper size, it has to depend on many other conditions, like the weather, the good weather, and the water, fertilizer, manure, and so forth. So it all has to depend on all many of these conditions.
그래다 또 상고가 먼저 하고요. 그래다 대자 이제 몸으로는 셰바에 하고요. 들어와. 딱 타니 따마다.
And so from that we can see that it is produced by many things coming together, like cause and conditions.
오케이? 그래서 다 대는 아니 맞다봐서 뜻이야 또 가르쳐 타니 가르쳐요. 들어와.
And so from the term product, it's easy to understand. We can say that, product is a thing that is produced by depending on cause and conditions. But whereas the impermanent, so when you say somebody says impermanent, even though it has the same meaning, but just the term impermanent is harder to understand.
Okay? Do it make sense? So you saw that?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is why are the elements so
가로 엘리먼트나?
Why the element?
like water, air, fire, or why are they so
아,
Why are they so what?
impermanent?
Why are they impermanent? I see.
Why?
오케이. zu이나 아니 다 못다밤이 차그래서 와.
So anything that is that's a matter. Anything that is a matter is necessarily impermanent.
와. 근데 나라서 오신하고 가르고 가서 주다로라잖아. 가르기 예반나 못다밤이 차그래서 와.
So when we talk about the object of our sense consciousness, the object that is perceived by our eye consciousness, and heard by our ear consciousness, and smelled by our nose consciousness, and so forth. These are all these objects are impermanent.
오케이? 그래서 앞에나 사치면은 주어셔 아니 사다보이나 사시 따스 차베가 랑제 봐. 저다베시나 아니 론베가 랑제 봐. 메타베나 차베 랑제 봐. 로타베나 다 레자가 랑제자 차상나서 다지 나도 온보 오시나 단 되게 그러죠.
And so when we're talking about the element, like the earth element, and so it has the factor of being a solid, and the water has the factor of being liquid, and the fire has its nature or the factor of being hot, and the air has this the wind in elements. So all these are objects of our sense consciousness.
그 right. 배차서는 나도 시간보지나 시간보니 시간보 도도나 시간보 되나라 책하는 지어서나 아니 메카는 지어서 라바이나 들어와. 근데 뒤나라야 아니 치 감다 아니 메 감도 요래 들어와. 대비 따라야 시도도 냠도 다르이나 그 타고 자요 그래서.
So for example, a dry wood carries the element of fire. The sign that it has the element of fire is because when you rub these two dry woods together, it produces fire.
들어와. 다 파이만 타고까지 타오르지 자고와 멤버 몇도 막 갈거라.
So it becomes hot. So it has the nature of the heat.
근데 그래서 가서 아니 매 감이에서 담 좋아 매 감서와 좋아 매 라지 좋아 매 감이 그래서 와.
has the element of the fire.
Okay? 그래서 나라수 수부절이야 사치문을 주어지 가서 배라 미타고 나라수 수부라 사치문을 주어지 간가 상대로 그래서
So it's also all these four elements exist in our own body also. We have the earth, the water, and fire and the wind element in our body.
그러봐. 근데 좋아 사이 감면서 아니 수부마 아니 직가로다 묘로와 아니 수부바 감로가 되는 작업을 봐. 메이크업 영어도 아니 수부도 막 장아 조절을 어떻게 작업을 봐.
당부도 갔어?
배나 당보도 배나 사이 감면서 말 아니 감보가 찌그니 마마마 냠로를 와서 배나 사이 감면서 받는 수부 감보잖아 마 아니 주주 작업을 봐. 메이크업 영어도 담아라야 아니 수부라 조면을 작업을 봐. 도대체네.
And so when these elements degenerate in our body, so it's the sign of the earth element degenerating in our body, and our body will become small or it will shrink. And then the fire element is degenerating from our body, then our body becomes colder and colder.
강제 땅 나가나라나 아니 나도 좋아지 마 토를 하더니 아니 밑에까지 쇼요 하고 그러고.
So, according to the tantric teaching, we can understand that person is dying from the way the elements are degenerating in his or her body.
Okay, now we're not talking about that. Then zuda choro reja karena ane mutaba mi chagre esti karena mutaba raja sede then zuda choro reja ane zu karo ta ubonga ye kain badala mutaba ko thani ko na ta thani to yo.
So all the five sense objects, the form, the sound, the smell, the taste, the contact, are all impermanent, and so all the objects of the sense consciousness are impermanent.
그러봐. 딱 봐서 해도 가서 미식은 통하여 말이야. 렉시래요 말. 암조 고야요 말이야. 그러봐.
And so permanent thing cannot be seen by our eye consciousness or heard by our ear consciousness or smelled by our nose consciousness.
Okay. Someone can smell to it. Impermanent. 그래서 다 따도 라지때 아니 생고 써мот다니 아니 가서 봐 라테체네 아니 냠는 것도 고하라고 그래서.
So the nature of permanence, is understood through the thought, through contemplating with the thought, and gaining realization or understanding.
Okay. 배차사는 먼저 그냥 의보 간가 변보 시바 데모지 있으면 돼요. 의보를 찾으면 돼요. 그래서 봐.
And so when we talk about again a functional thing, it's all included in these three categories of the functional thing: matter, consciousness, and non-associated compositional factor.
그래. 그래. 변보 시바 데모지로.
Good?
그래. 근데 이제 변보는 주칸 받아 변보라 그래서 주칸 받아 변보 콘팅이 그래서.
And so when we talk about the matter and all the things that that has the form, some kind of form, is a matter.
그래. 변보지. 다 시바가도 나시 지다 시바칸 받다 다 시바세도 되는 게 그래서.
And then all kinds of consciousness, thoughts are in the consciousness.
그래. 다 가도 좋아도 누바. 아니 강사세 도처럼 되면 되지 그래.
And then the person sitting and going are all included in the non-associated mental composition factor.
그래. 나도 좋아돼. 변보는 말이 시바 말이야.
Like going, walking around, going is not a matter and is not a consciousness, right?
그래서 아니 변보도 시바 마에 변보도 시바 되니 마에겠다 되면 되지 이거보다 레트라고 그래서.
So when we talk about the non-associated compositional factor, then it is a functional thing that is neither matter nor form nor consciousness.
다 대가 파도 아니 가서 수지 보면 초에 보면 드시 보면 남아시 보면 가요. 보면 가 대나 반디로 그래서 봐.
And then, so when you combine that, it also can be combined into the 5 aggregates, the form and to the consciousness aggregate.
Okay, now we are not going to. 내가 딘디를 강 이바들 가서 가서 주도트로 그러잖아. 니도 강 이바들 가서 못다바 타니장이요. 그래서 봐. 가지잖아. 고도 끼지끼지긴 진도에 완자 못다바 하슬라 말이지.
And so all these things, the matters, the form, the consciousness, and the non-associated composition factor are all impermanent. They're all impermanence. Here the reason why it's for impermanence is because it's disintegrating moment by moment.
Okay, how is it? More complicated? More complicated?
Sorry, I just wanted to know why they're disintegrating.
No.
But that's maybe
No.
not
가로 딱 간해진의 고전 지금 들어와.
So why are these things are disintegrating?
답 빼쳐라. 오케이, example 오케이. 나도 애플도 싫어라 신고 깨워 저러와. 신고를 깨워 되고 주말에 샤샤나. 잠들어 코마 살아서 내가 샤샤가나. 그 몸가로 세보자 말이 아니 라바스가 봐 그러지. 자대로 차로 와서. 그 가진 잡으나.
So for example, if you didn't give enough water to the apple tree, so that there's apple already grown on the apple tree, but you didn't give enough water to that, then this apple will not stay there for a long time, it will fall. And when it falls, if you didn't pick it up and then just leave it there, then it will start to disintegrate, right? So it will become turn into yellow, and then after something it becomes so soft or smushy that when you pick it up, it will all kind of fall apart in your hand. So it gets to that point. So that's how it disintegrates, right?
근데 이제 담보도 코 마사도 어디 코야 숨터야게 제제 마사마자 코 뒤제제가 네바 좋아나 코 마사서 바로 왔어.
So when it first fell down, then it fell down because there was no complete causes and condition for it to be held into the tree, right?
다들 가지고 가지고 코 사와는 자들 해 가지 않아. 가지는 사와서나.
So if someone were to ask you why did it fall, then what would you say?
It's natural. Right?
branch wasn't strong enough.
No. Even branch enough strong.
But you said it has the cause to
Yeah, because they're not enough to they have to hold this. How is it this way?
stem.
Stand has not enough strong because he doesn't get the produce the water or that could never what's called someday.
Yeah, so it doesn't have that potential, the power to hold the apple, right?
빼차잖아 단단하도 시 로마데 세보자 마사로도 와서 가지래서나 그 오라 추기 리바도 그 냠로 이가 따다 두면서 그 마사로도 와서.
And so now you can see the leaves in the trees are turning yellow and then falling down. Why is that happening? That's because the tree is not able to take enough water to hold those leaves in the green, right?
대마도 가지래서나 오 도시라는 것으로 되기도 와서.
So if you explain why it's happening like that, then if you explain in this way why it's happening, then it makes sense, right?
Correct? Therefore, everything when we see, when we talk, when we touch, they all kundu yuwate jeta kega tena ra yuwanza jeta kega nipata zonga ku tal la medo yoriswa.
So they are all impermanent because they all disintegrate moment by moment. And again, the other thing is that they all came into existence by depending on cause and condition. When the cause and conditions fall apart, then they will lose their power or potential to remain as they are, and so then they become old and they fall down. So that's the nature of the impermanence.
Basically, 있으면 다양한 아파트 lok사처럼 lok다는 업 중압 된 도스. lok업 중압 된 니바 마셔봐 고 샤데 그래서 나도 동바 따데 그래서. 남중압 된고 전화 그뒤 니바 내 숨되게 니바 내가다 그딱 신호 들어왔어.
So for example, the charge on my iPad, it was 100% earlier, but now I see only 57%. So it will disintegrate, right? It will go down, and then when it reaches, when there's no charge anymore, then it will turn off by itself.
Right? 그래서 그런 용어를 지티 니바 저러면 그런 저도 그 마사로 다 냠로 그러was.
So the power to be able to use it or to have able to hear or see the picture on the screen and so forth is because of the charge. So charge is the cause and condition, right? So it's one of the conditions for us to be able to use that iPad. So when that condition is gone, then there's no more power to turn it to keep it on. So it will turn off by itself.
Right? You understand? This need to 나도라 봐 나도 무슨 통하다 리더도 봐 대신 전에 라트잖아 아니 시험을 라트 되고요 그래서
So the things that we see and things that we can hear and touch and so forth are all like that. So if we understand that and how those things are impermanent, then it will be easier to understand other things as impermanent.
나도 대대 다 전에 라파처럼 마찬가지 코양들 로자다마도 샤샤는 가르쳐는 거서 로자기질라 카스셔나 콜 데부터 따라 내려서
So for example, like this book that we have, if we didn't touch it or didn't turn any of the pages of this book and just leave it there for 100 years, would it just stay like that?
그다 니바는 냠 쇼면 쇼고시 반자로요 라판차데 중도지 샤노로 왔어.
So after 100 years, it will have disintegrated, right? So then when you open it up, and the page will fall off or it will tear,
그러나 대코는 소야라야 직쇼고 로도 라바도 차서지 뭐 타고 그러더라.
And so also that the book, to stay fresh like it is now, after 100 years, it has to have all these elements together to hold it, nicely.
Okay. 다가도 이거는 소관으로 쇼요에 와서 고만요에 와서. 근데 오마디 나와 그게 세번 쫑안에 딸이 쫑안에 딸 제가 딸 술집 받고 다 냐초고 요스 그 뒤티샤도 왔어. 다 되네 파를 샤보 주스지 샤와나 우리 오마디 리로도 왔어. 가정나 대나 코 손토야게 제kul루샤레 제디 니바 카디 냠나 아니 코메와 차로 왔어.
So, for example, we go to buy a dairy product like milk or yogurt in the supermarket, and then we see that we look at the date. It says it's good, from September 15th to September 30th, and so within that time, the milk will stay very fresh. If you want to eat it, you can drink it, and it won't cause any problem to you. So after the 30th, then it starts to go bad. It decays. It starts to go bad. And then you will not be able to drink it, it will start to smell and so forth. Why that's happening? Because the substance which holds it, fresh has decreased, or degenerated. And that's why, it's becoming bad also.
그래서 나도 나중에 대세자한테 나도 지대 내도 많다고 지금 자고 말이야. 나는 예리 초연하다던 통바지 나도 때 문제 있지만도 반드시 자고 그랬어.
And so what is explained in Buddhism is not different from what things happen in our day-to-day life. So it's explaining just the things, like the things that are happening in our life, but we're not able to understand or comprehend in that way.
근데 내가 다녀마다 오자니 제가 때는 고비로 그러왔어.
And of course we have to use a term to explain it, to understand it, but then if you are not familiar with those terms, then you get confused.
나도 테레비 다녀라 맞다봐도 여러왔어.
So is there a term in science for impermanent?
딱 봐도 맞다고 다니 자그래봐 테레비.
So the permanent, do they use this term, permanent and impermanent?
The science? Never heard?
They don't use that term? They use that, right?
They use that? And the 되게 곤조고 똥방에서 다니 작은 말을 왔어.
but they don't have the term emptiness, right?
그리고 emptiness. 그리고 다 동반해서 제주도 다 고조 가르나 파파파파 빼나 짜라로 바는 파파파파파파파파 세상에 파트는 문에다 파치 주는 거는 이해 무조건 나요 와서 나도 단위
So like in the quantum physics, when they talk about the things, talking about the things, and then trying to look for it, and then breaking down into smaller pieces, and then no matter how small it goes, you can still not find it, right?
이나 딱 고조 나도 도시면 아니 나도 가로 남들가 demba 맞으면서 두지 타요. 그래서 파파파파 저도 그런 걸 줘봐줘도 요 말이에요. 가도 또 뱉다도 말도 라는 거 줘요 말서 때 대다 라는 거 줘봐 뭐하는데 demba 맞으면서 말이에요.
So when you search in that way, you keep on going searching to find the thing by breaking it to smaller pieces, and then eventually you will not find it. So when you don't find that, that's what we mean by lack of true existence. So there's nothing that can exist from its own side, or inherently from its own side, and that is called lack of true existence.
좋아. 들여다는 텔레비 담바트마를 다니자 그래봐. 다니요 파지요나.
Again, they don't have this. They don't use that term, lack of true existence, right, or true existence.
어떤애가 그 다니자마다 집어만 가서 뭐 내세 때 남비셔야 되고 따다다는 텔레비는 통도 왔어.
And so, just like I explained in the quantum physics, they explain about these things, right? It's just that they don't use the term lack of true existence or true existence.
당한도 개와치나 젬바토는 제가 대원조사 따도도 찍고 썸이 맞춰봐로 닦아서 때까지 가오래서 시행하는 통대 이렇게 돼서도 세리바도 너도 쉬어로 왔어.
And then talking about giving, brings richness, and practicing morality brings higher rebirth and so forth. These are, of course, it's difficult to prove, but other things, that is very similar with the science, right?
Okay? Now you have maybe talked too much, too many ways. Now you have more confidence. Okay, now all the questions.
I wanted to add on to this one. She asked it, why is it impermanent? Because it's a product?
Okay.
It's because everything, the elements, everything is producing a function. It's a product, so it produces a function. So everything is engaging in cause and effect. Everything's interacting with each other. So in order for something to have any effect on anything else, there has to be change. If it's unchanging and if it's permanent, it can't affect anything else. So the biggest thing that affects us are the elements, and they're constantly affecting and changing everything else. They're engaging in cause and effect, and that's why they have to change. And how quickly they change determines on how powerful the cause is. That's why the pyramids after thousands of years are still standing, because the cause and the conditions and materials that made it are very strong. Versus a house of cards, the cause is weak, so it lasts a very short time, so it increases the development. So depending on the power, how strong the cause is determines how quickly it deteriorates. And the fact that everything interacts with each other, there has to be change. It has to change to produce a function, to engage in action. That's why if something is permanent, it can't affect anything. It's unchanging. It has no effect on anything else. I think that's one of the main reasons why, if it's a product, it isn't.
But is anything permanent?
Yes.
Space.
Two one is having space, emptiness, sky, they all take out was.
Yeah, those are prominent.
봐. 이나 맨날 샤쇼가 남까 너쇼가 남까서 그 저래 저래 용거 말해. 그 샤셔야 되는 샤워를 왔어. 두사 두조진.
So when we talk about like a space, you can say eastern space or western space. Yeah. Then that's not depending on a causal condition. Is depending on the site, depending on the parts.
비교건 better. You guys heard? Tamchu sound? It's good. Then it is better. East 샤쇼가 남까지 제요스는 제 말하고 왔어. 그죠?
So eastern space, eastern sky or eastern space. So when you say eastern space, does it have a cause?
대고도 샤유 너쇼야 샤쇼도 그 쇼셔도 그 샤유도 왔어.
But
So if it's in the east side, then you say eastern space. If it's in the west side, then you say it's a western space. So there's no cause and condition to create that, but it depends on the side, on the parts.
Yes.
But in the same way that you can't point to one part of that apple and say that's the apple. You can't do that with space.
You can't what? Apple size?
You can't
Tall.
point to one part, like you can't point to one part of yourself and say this is
Yeah.
me, this is me, this is me, because that's not.
Exactly.
But just like you were saying.
Yeah.
It depends on everything else to be.
Yeah.
Okay? But with space, you can't, still can't do that with space either.
This is the difference. Apple is a good gelatin. Good. Just don't try it. But the shadow of the Mujo, you can't think of tiny tomatoes. Cool. Chasha at the word. Do you want to?
So, of course, it's different in terms of the apple. So you just say whichever side of the apple, is the apple, right? So even the western side or eastern side of the apple, they both depend on cause and condition. So therefore, in that case, it will be impermanent. But when you're talking about the space, which is a permanent by itself, it's a permanent. Therefore, you can't say, the eastern and the western space, produce each other. Of course, it depends on each other. So because of the east, you can say west. Because of the west, you can say east. If there's none of this, you can't in the level one as an east, depends no west. So it depends. It depends on that, but it doesn't depend on causes and conditions.
Okay. Yes. You want to add something?
I'm sorry, what's the I have the sense that what Laura is saying is that the view of space for the piece of the apple is actually
Same.
it has to do with the knower. Right, it's the perception, it has to do with the knower. It's from the point of view of the viewer, the knower, the cognizer.
가서.
가서 가서 리포라, 가서 노래라, 노다 리포라, 그거 그래. 그거다.
그게 시대는 차장 추 가리면 다 또배 따도는 로도 차장으로 나가게 좋아. 로파 마다는 부인을 저려 말이지.
Yes, of course, in the sense that everything is imputed by mind. Everything that exists is imputed by mind. So this is called permanent, this is called impermanent. It's all imputed by mind. So of course it depends on the mind in that sense.
So just trying to understand.
Yeah.
So space, it exists separate from our cognitive, of our consciousness, and it exists independently from any other cause or effect.
가로.
So 첫 번째는 남한이 소송원에서 맞던 셀라마드가 써서 누구야? 소송원이 누구를 했었나? 셀라마드가 누구를 했?
셀마도 두개 말이지. 차셔야 돼, 두개. 차셔야 되네.
So like I said, there isn't anything that exists that do not depend on something, right? So everything that exists is depending on something. So like the space depends on the mind that imputed that as a space. So if the mind did not impute it as a space, there's no space. So something called space is imputed by mind also. Everything like that is imputed by mind.
근데 나도 사주세요 요한자 대가 남가서 요요를 들어와. 대다
나도 로이 똑바로 딱 봐라. 로 남가서 딱 내가 또 남가 차वर 맞으세요. 나 거야 말아.
어디로 말 들어와. 나도
So yeah, because our mind imputed that thing as a space, that's why there's a space. If it was not imputed as a space, there's no space.
대다 가도 사주세요와 사주들은 땜배 아니 바나 똥바데 고샤야다 어떻게 남가 따져 버리고.
And so you can say, by depending on the surface, then on something that has no surface or no solid base called a space. So there's a space that thing which is empty depends on a thing that has a form or solid object. So because it has it doesn't have a solid object, therefore it's called space.
You got it? But I'm Kambala the Takoro, told on the Korean, Kamban on the Tombata Yonto shadow the was. Kamban
So like the space inside the house depends on the house, right? The space inside the house of the Kurukulla center depends on the house of the Kurukulla center.
Then the Kambala told us, Kamban not to Shayo Master.
So if there was no this house of the Kurukulla center, like the walls and the roof, if there was no things that nothing like that, then you can't say, oh, the space of the Kurukulla center house. So this space inside the house depends on the house. Without that house, there will be no space of that house, space inside the house, right? So, but that's not created by cause and condition.
Okay? Jebana, Jela, Yelejita, Legichi, Yelejibana, Koran, the Mochi Bank, the leader, Dina was Tombadi Mode, Koran Mode, this, that combating sort of soil marker.
So, if it is a cause, if it's produced by the cause, then there should be either the substantial cause or the auxiliary cause. So if the substantial cause is the cause that actually changes and actually turns into the entity of that thing. So like, if the house is the cause of the space in the house, then the part of the house has to turn into a space. Like the seed turns into an apple, right? So the seed of the apple is the substantial cause of the apple.
Okay? It's a little bit clear?
I'm getting it, a little bit.
Still a little bit?
Slowly.
Okay, yes.
I just want to say that isn't the difference between that which is permanent and that which is impermanent not based on dependency. It's based on whether it decays.
Yes, 그래서 나왔다. 그 지금까지는 나리가 맞추기, 또 맞으러 나리가 말아. 딱 봐도 딱 봐도. 다 나리가 맞추기, 그또 맞으러 나리가 말아.
이거만 네가 또 말해.
Yes, so it depends on whether it decays or not. If it decays, it's impermanent. If it doesn't decay, it's permanent. So, but they are both are same being dependent.
Okay? You want to say something?
I think also
Yeah.
the four elements, they all occur within space. So space is the basis for all the elements to interact and for anything to happen. So space doesn't produce a function, but it does have a role, which is it allows everything to happen. So that's why it's unchanging, but it still interacts with the other elements. It's not isolated separately. Everything is possible within space, but it remains unchanging.
그래서 다만은 내가 코로나 때에서 원래 남게 감지라 남게 감지에 아까 감 세다 드시는도 대화 요래 세다 감 세다님도 대화 요래데 얘나 감 세다게 되는 걸 주게 지금 말했어.
Yeah, that's it over, yeah.
Yeah, it's something like that, yeah.
Okay, anyone have add something? Maybe Jess? You have some add? Nothing yet? Jennifer, you have some add?
I had a question. He was talking about the causes for why the pyramids withstand so much time. You know, the Egyptian pyramids. And you said the causes were strong, but it's more stable. But it's like a plane flew into them, like they did the World Trade Center. I mean, does it matter?
Because the power of the plane is stronger, so physics, which is not.
So, but it's
It would be stronger than
Yeah.
Oh, you were saying that
강박하실 지금 나와시. 근데 나도 디플레이먼트 되잖아. 이제 강박 플레이먼트에서 디디 가스나 직레라만 가르쳐 버렸어. 다 코란스나 다 맞아 지금 유교가 나를 그래서 유교에서 맨날 다 맞아 유교 가르쳐 버렸어. 유교 가르쳐 버렸다 나를 그래서 그냥 강박하실 또 되고 제가 강박하실 또 되고 명이라 또 가고 지고라. 가서는 그 유교 가서 유교 가르쳐다 버렸다 빼나 짜게나 짜리 말 담이더라. 그런 짜 나올 때 짜리나 짜리 좀 담이더라. 아니 사이나 답변아 시멘타 테네 사바 대소가 담이더 여러 하나. 그런 유저 담이더 디스크네요. 다른 뭐라시나 아니 심지게 레기야 지금 말했어 봐.
아, 네네네.
그러다 유저 약물 유저 독자 인바이나 유저 약물에 그 유명한 데 여러 가지 유저 약물 멤버이나.
야.
심지 레기 전에 되는 차 말했어.
다들 섬지 단다 시다 되죠. 코 집자라 다도 강바도 코 집자라 라래 와서. 나야 섬지기 신도게 내가 때네 아니 지금 룸바라에 내 나사 미게도 룸바 코로나 다시 마셔서 야 섬지 신도게 내가 때네 그래서.
Yes, of course it depends on the karma of the thinking being also. And so even though the material that's used to build a house is very good, but if the karma of the sentient being who is using that place is not good, then maybe it will not stay for a long time. But if even the material is not that good, but the karma of the sentient being is good, then it can last longer. So yeah, it depends. It depends on many causes and conditions. So these are all different kinds of causes and conditions.
그러와. 다 주스는 니바로 올라오라. 배나 나서 카라로 사와이나. 배나 카라데 코랑 카라 또 제모로 사와이나. 마모 마사바나 디그 고 주스 마모라 냐토와. 카라 코라 또 시라면은 마모 사바나 코파파 타르모 섬토고 말아와서.
So like some kind of food that have a lot of protein, some kind of food that don't have much protein. So even though you eat very little with a lot of protein, then it can, hold your body for a long time. But even if you eat so much food, but if it doesn't have much protein, then it doesn't, hold your body for a long time.
다 대화도 코는 거 잘라 코는 우주는 코는 니바치 주요로 봤을 때 코는 거 진짜 적당 거 차네. 맞지? 소셜도 맞아.
Yeah, so it's not, of course, there's a karma thing there, but also it depends on the thing itself, how much protein it has, the food itself.
배나 배배가 쌈바도 빼면도 포테리 쌈바 쇼게 쌈바나 인구 주주 중이 당보라고 저것도 말했어. 또 사이션에서 저 단계.
For example, in general, not necessarily true for every case, but in general, we say that samba. Samba is a roasted barley flour, and it has a lot of protein. So if you eat a samba at a breakfast, you will not feel hungry at all until noon, like 12 or 1 o'clock.
다 저런 거 쇼게 내도 두바고 내도 저 맞아 잡도도 제대 주지 동안 저도 그래서.
But like if you eat porridge, like a rice pudding, and you eat a whole bowl of rice pudding, then even though you feel full at that time, but then you become hungry very quickly. And like around 11 o'clock, you feel already hungry.
대코라 카라 코는 딱 니슈 제중간이 오기로 왔어.
And so it depends on the food itself also, right? So how much protein the food itself has.
Okay? Do you guys something understand? Something you can got? Or so many different things are now more complex. Okay, now we can talk a little bit this, okay? Otherwise we didn't go. 다 가서 먼저 근데 이체의 시대에 와도 이체.
So last time we were talking about the correct assumption, right? Correctly assuming consciousness.
Okay. 다 담보 되는 생이들아 거야 보지 내가 나네만도 되내려고 하고 그래서 봐.
So first, if you gain a good understanding about the definition, then it will, it become easier to understand the thing.
그래봐. 다 라이라 해봐. 라이라 셈벨 세비시든 때문 셈바다 내래 있음 거다 봐. 내래 내 있음마다 셈바다 봐. 아니 해봐라고 대 따다 하 먹어봤지. 이마도 코로나 한 번만 맞아 아니 물어봐라나 시리 되더라 라이얼라 휴비 시리 된 코로나 그 진짜 따다하면 코로나는 지 달라데 따다 되도다 아니 그 가로 되더라 된다 라이얼라 셴바라나 내 레섬도 같이 해라나 하 먹어야지 되더라나 코로나 한 먹으면 돼 이제 따다 레스
So, the definition it says factually concordant, determinative knower that is controvertible with regard to determining its object. So, there's many parts of this definition. So, one part which is determinative knower. And as a determinative knower, so you are determined to know it. And so you say, oh yes, this is this. So, for example, the cup is visible. The cup is visible. Yeah, but when it says controvertible, that means again you don't know. You think the cup is visible, but you're not completely sure. But it is factually concordant because it's factually concordant because cup is visible, right? But you don't know. That's what it means when it says controvertible. You don't know. With regard to the determining its object. So you don't know exactly, but you think cup is visible, but you don't know that cup is visible. But it is actually concordant because cup is visible.
right? 맞은 사람들 남다른 무들의 랭가를 qabla야. 다 무든데 이사를 했음. 야나 임바 자자자 타 마셔 키워들 땀 좀바 킹도 여러 왔어. 그것도 무들 해서마도 꽃다다래 코레데르스. 에나 내 레사바는 릭도도 그 물어와이나 그 자자 하고 뭐하다 꽃들 나와 차대로 되노.
So it's just like someone sent you to pick up somebody with a description, and then you think, oh, that must be the person. That must be the person, but you're not 100% sure. And it is that person. In actuality, it is that person. But it's just that you don't know 100%. Therefore, you're not sure. But you think it's that person. And it is really that person. But you don't know 100%.
Okay.
It's like that.
다변에 된대로 메디바나 유럽 요거요 와이나. 아니 저런 남자는 좀 메디티. 어떤 메디 임바 이사레스. 메디 이거는 이와치. 메디 이사레스. 간나 그 유럽 일에 저렇게 채워나 저렇게 진세하다 너무 말아 와서.
So, for example, if you're picking up this person who's coming from Europe, and you say, oh, this must be a person because he came from Europe. Would that be a valid reason?
대지세요 말아 와서.
That's not a good reason, right? Because there are so many people who came from Europe. So not necessarily that everybody who comes from Europe is the person that you're picking up.
내가 이거 말아 나로 투시 와서 투시라고 들어봐요.
And that's why, there are like 4 or 5 different divisions, to this consciousness.
와. 다자야 남자는 메디 왔지. 메디면은 앞에나 법스 같이 메디 법이 임바치. 다자가 법스 미지 녀왔지. 얘나 저 메디 임바다다 얘나 저 메디 인사레스. 가나 코 남비티나 도서나 대야 차와요 말아봤어.
And so let's say, you went to pick up a bulb coming from Europe, and then you did see Bob. That's the Bob that you're seeing is the one that you're supposed to pick him up. But then you say, oh, that must be Bob because he came in that plane. He came in that plane, like say Lufthansa plane, So he came in that plane, and so therefore he must be a Bob. So that's not a good reason, right? And so that's like the first one, correctly assuming consciousness that do not have a reason.
이나 저 앞에도 법도다 이래서 이마이나 저를 진세도 하고 말아봤어. 이미 진세도.
So the person that you are assuming is Bob is already a Bob, but the reason is not the correct.
봐. 다야 저런 밑에까지 되게 좋아지. 다 저런 밑에 어디다 인사를 가나 그 어디다 지나나 내가 책임 들으셔야 되나? 다 진세 될 때 와라 봐. 내가 책임은 그 받은 놈이도 많이 받자는 거로 왔어.
And so then you say, oh, that must be that must be a Bob because he is working in the airline, in the Lufthansa airline. That is even worse, right? Right? Because if he is working in the airline, then he should not be the one who's traveling.
Therefore, 내가 제일은 가서 누가 이거 뭐라 코코라 쉬운 게 컴비나 코랑 호텔 담셔야 was.
So if it is the staff, who's working in that airline, then he will definitely not be the person that you're picking up, right? Because he will have his own company providing him a space to live.
Okay? 다들 배차샤와 이나스. 당도 애벌 대응도 배사가다. 애벌 주제에서 마다디 시바이 매철라고 그러고. 애벌디 지지에 당도 싸워 가로 다됐지. 다들 미가래 애벌 주제지. 마다바디 다 가로. 주지 다 시와데 따로 와서. 다 시와데 마다바레다스. 가르나 뭐 애벌도 마다바레다 가나 그 시와르나 그 따다로 시와나 마다바 고로 와서 거기 되주로 와서. 근데 다 시와 마다바 바 먹어지. 애벌도 마다바 바 먹어지. 시와 바 고되게. 타고 이제 뜻 동거다스. 근데 다 말 치다는 딱게다. 그것도 한번 따도 고쳐도 안 돼.
Usually, when we talk about the correct reasoning, so for it to be a correct reasoning, it has to have a subject, it has to have a predicate, and a reason. So these three, so you have to have these three for the syllogism, and the first one is called the subject. So for a subject can be anything. So in this case, let's say the apple. Apple is the subject. The predicate, is impermanent, and the reason is a product. So like I said, the apple is impermanent because it's a product. So for that to be a correct reason, this person to whom you apply this syllogism has to know that apple is product, and also has to know that if it's a product, it has to be impermanent, right? So if it is for somebody who doesn't know that apple is a product, or if it is a product has to be impermanent, then it doesn't become a valid reasoning.
Okay, go get one more apple. Another fruit. Okay?
You got it?
You got it? It's easy? Too easy? That you take Kangala Paki
So you understood that, right? So if it is someone who doesn't know that, then this will not become a valid
Okay?
reason.
당연히 살려야 살려받으면서 아니 희도이다 쓰는 희도. 다 애벌도 희도레스. 가르나 애벌을 놓고 따다 놓여 왔어. 애벌은 희도 놓여 왔어. 당연히 가요래 내가 애벌이 삶을 다 애벌도 희도레다. 가르나 애벌을 하나 고다다 진짜 놓여 왔어.
The apple constitution 자체라. apple constitution, the apple 기타 지금 다 진실이 없이 shago라. 근데 apple 민지 shago라.
야, 나 애벌 마고 대해서 와.
네.
애벌 마고도 희도레다. 가르나 그 애벌을 하나 그래서 Okay, this is the right apple, okay, right?
Red apple.
The right apple is the food because apple.
Because it's apple.
Correct? This is apple, right? This is also apple, right? Now, this right apple is food. Food because this is an apple. Do you understand? And easy? No, this is a little complicated, or you think, oh yeah, this makes sense.
Complicated.
Huh? You got it?
Apple is food. Apple is fruit.
No, this. Okay,
The apple is
the apple is food because it is apple.
because it's an apple, it's fruit.
Yeah, if any kind of apple is food, right?
Right.
Therefore, this apple is food because it is
Because it's an apple.
apple. Then the three is a subject, subject, subject,
Predicate,
predicate,
and reason.
reason. Okay, the reason is here. Okay, I got it. Now let's talk about this because the sound is impermanent because the reason, right? You guys make that confused. Okay? Always. If it is apple, always fruit. Now you think you know this is an apple, but you don't know this is fruit. Therefore I say, yeah, this is a fruit. Because why? Because apple. Because if it is apple, always fruit. Got it? Yes?
So you reference the sound thing again. So if you take the same equation,
Yeah.
so sound is a
Okay, sound, now,
sound is a product.
sound is impermanent
Oh, right,
because product.
right.
When it is a product, always permanent. Because permanent and product is dangerous.
Impermanent.
Impermanent.
We know what you're saying.
Sorry, Dad. Katrina, she was a dangerous.
Yeah, so impermanent and product are synonyms, right?
Okay? Now we say Laura is impermanent because human being.
Right.
If he or she is human being, always impermanent. Got it? You got it? You sure? Can I do a little quicker? Okay, now you guys got that? Is it easy? Now we can read this one. You got to hear more carefully, right? Okay, now I said the first one.
You say maybe
Tambo jinse dangawi chirin do.
maybe
Jinse mangi bi chin, jinse mata bi
you
chin.
say maybe
Ichu hang. Jinse tambo jinse
you
na.
say
Ali jinse me bi chin. Ali jinse me bi
you say
chin.
maybe, right?
Tambo karo. Dram mata shi me ngata la tine. Dram mata. Okay. Okay. Tante apple de kai jawo do. Okay. I can say it is food because we can eat. It is the reason? Good reason? I say this apple is food because we can eat.
Yeah.
I say,
That's no reason.
I say this apple is food because it is eatable.
You can eat it.
You can eat. This is new English. It's true, right? But if it is eat, necessary come food? No, right?
Right.
Therefore, take the jism to us.
There's no reason, right?
Correct? You understand this meaning? You are correct? So as
Just even if you can eat it, it doesn't mean that it's food.
exactly like that. Therefore, I said this is food is correct. I'm correct, but I don't know exactly. Therefore, I'm thinking it is food. I said yes, it's correct. You are 100% right, but I said it is. You can eat. This is totally wrong. You understand? Now you can see there's the fourth one. We say sound is impermanent. No. Because no, because they say because sound is impermanent because they say impermanent. The Ngawang is sound. Understand? It's easy. Because sound is impermanent because they say sound is permanent. Just sound.
The mere word.
The word says
It says here, right? An awareness that apprehends sound to be impermanent in dependence upon the mere word sound is impermanent. So the mere word sound is impermanent is not a reason to prove the sound is impermanent.
correct? Do you understand that the pawn is correct? Laura, you got it? You got it? Jess, you got it? Do you got it?
Yeah, I think so.
Really? Everyone got it? Yeah. If you think about it, when you understand, then it's very easy. Go to everywhere, Sam. But you don't understand one, then always, okay. What's goodbye. Okay? Bob, you got it? I think you got it right. Yeah. then you can apply all the time. This is very logically. Also, we say, this is also very good, we say, Karo, Demba Meti Tenley, which is all.
So you can say, it doesn't exist truly because it is a dependent rising.
Right? Demba Tava said, Jeda, Chi, Chaja, Kara, Mateva, Demba Tava was.
So if it is existing truly, it has to exist without depending on anything.
Ta, Demba Matava, Karma, could get the Chosana, could pet Lila Gozo.
So it is not existing truly because it depends on causes and conditions. Then it becomes so, why it does not exist. It becomes so clear why it doesn't exist truly.
Easy? Right? There's the logic is really logic. You need to some open you some door inside your mind. You couldn't open the doors, then you always stuck there. Then they open one door, then very easy to all apply everyone.
So logic, it can be used on everything. It's the same logic for everything.
Okay? The apple is a fruit because it is a rock. It's complete wrong, right? It doesn't cover was. Though apple might go or she don't might go was.
So if you said the apple is a fruit because it's a rock, then it's a contradicting reason, right? Because if it's a rock, it is necessarily not a fruit.
That's correct. Like that kind, there are 4 or 5. How many?
No.
It's 5, right? Like also I didn't look at the text. Sorry.
You didn't use it.
Oh.
Yeah, the contradicting.
Yeah, this quantity, this correction, right? Teje nipa ngubor was. Teje nito ngubu mai bar was.
Yeah, so it's just like saying, a sound is impermanent because it's a permanent.
Right? Okay, ta jinse mangi bas, ta jinse mangi ba karke hota. Ta shindo de abo de shindo res. Ane? Sala cheva shirana. Abo de shindo da karna sala cheva shirana shindo gora res. Te gora bashi.
Mareta kovi mare.
De la kana Dutch mata de jaja mitler. Wata jaja ina mata wa yiyo ko mayo niga yor was. jinse mangi bar tatar was. Shindo de abo de shindo da karna sala cheva shirana jinse tatar res.
So the third one is that this is not certain, right? The reason is not certain. So it's like the apple is a fruit because it grew from ground, or it grew from soil. If you said that, will it be certain? So anything that grew from soil is not necessarily fruit, right?
그래서 진짜 망해 봐. 진짜 매번 말아 왔어. 살았잖아. 시도 많이 붙여 말아 왔어.
So because there are many things that grow from soil but not necessarily fruit, right? So everything that grows from soil is not necessarily fruit, therefore it's not certain.
그래서 진짜 망해 봤어라 하고도 왔어. correct?
So the reason is not certain.
그래서 그래서 다들 못하다 그러나 다들 자자잖아. 자자는 못하다 이거를 많이 보니까 이거는 망해 버렸어.
And so here in the text it says, example is an awareness that apprehends sound to be impermanent from the sign of being an object of comprehension. So if you're not familiar with the word object of comprehension, that means same as existence. So everything that exists is object of comprehension. Right? So permanent thing, impermanent thing, everything is object of comprehension. And so everything that exists is object of comprehension. So therefore, it's not necessary to be impermanent, right? There's another object that exists, which is the object of comprehension, like a permanent thing. And so therefore, it is not certain.
Okay? 다 대진세 가고 진짜 마트 봐야 들어와.
진짜 말해 봐.
진짜 망해 봤지. 다 진짜 마트 봐서 돼. 다 다시 못하게 미시 수자 미시들 봐. 다들 지금 말로 다들 시도도 아볼데 시도를 다스 가이드나 뭐라세? 근데 시도대 아볼데 시도를 다스 가나 까브라나 아니 맞아봐라 와서 시도대 깝다 그딩아 줘요 말아. 하고 그래.
말마다 신경이 사고 온다.
봐.
신경이 사고 온다. 뭐라고?
봐. 다 시도대 까브레스.
네.
말 시도대 아볼데 시도를 했네.
네. 지나다 가서 털어버려 나로.
아, 말이
가이드 털어.
딱 가야겠다야. This is food, okay? This is food, okay? 다 애플 때 시도를 다 가나 사람 말해서나 또 맞아봐라 와서.
So here, what you're trying to prove
You come to
is
it, okay?
that the apple is a fruit, right? So with the reason saying that, oh, it is an orange, because it's orange, right? You can't prove that because apple is not orange. Like I said earlier, for that to be a correct syllogism, then it has to, the subject has to be reason, and reason has to be necessarily a predicate. So, but in this case, the subject is not a reason, right? So the apple is not orange, therefore it does not establish. So therefore, the reason orange doesn't establish the apple to be a fruit.
It's good? Did you understand?
I don't understand the difference between that and the one right before it.
No, it's different, you see? Right before is what I said. What did I say before? Mangeba.
The reason's not different.
Yeah, first was the apple is food because it is we can eat. Raw jaja raw.
Was it the growing one?
Yeah, grow one, yeah.
Yeah, the ground one, yeah.
There is a salad chicken go was.
Yeah.
Salad
So yeah, I mean, it's not certain. Everything that is grown from the soil is not necessarily a fruit, right? So it's not certain. I mean, there are some things that grow from the soil which is a fruit, but not everything that grows from soil is a fruit, and therefore it's not certain.
Correct?
So,
Not certain, not certain. 다시 한번 집어라.
not definite or not certain. It's the same thing. I don't know if it's, it would be right to say ascertain here. So ascertain, is it more like understanding?
Okay? Now third one is different. The apple is food because oranges. But this is not
Because it's
orange.
orange.
Different, understand? It's not called matapa.
There's no contradicting. See, the reason is the orange and the predicate is the fruit. So if it's an orange, it is necessary to be fruit. So that part is good. Right? That part is good. The only thing is that you can't prove the apple to be fruit because of the orange. Therefore, it is not established. Therefore, the reason is not established. It's true that apple is fruit. And it is also true that if it's an orange, it has to be a fruit.
If reason always come to
The only
here,
thing,
here.
only thing is that you're trying to prove apple to be or a fruit with the reason of being an orange.
Even this is no reason. 단다 apple 전에 apple 설마 저래야 말 was.
So apple is not orange.
Pena lorate miredas. 그래. 로라 보모레다스 가나 보레라나. 로라 보모가 따다 안 되거든. 나 보라디 보주 말어 왔어. 근데 그도
So just like saying Laura is a woman because she's a man. She's a man.
she's a woman, correct. It's yet correct. But the USA, she's man, it's not correct. She's not man.
But this is 자기가 말하면서 부모나 본인은 다
Okay, it is not correct. Anyway,
모든 로라디 미래 가서는 뭐 경화를 안 하든
oh, that's correct. Yeah, Miss Laura is a human being because she is a male. Correct? Yes, she is was a human being, that's correct, but she's not male.
So part of it is correct, but part of it is
So the reason is wrong.
Yeah, reason is wrong. You don't know that this is misleading, yeah. Yeah, this is, I think misleading is correct, maybe. No, reason is not correct. This is not. Reason is here. If it is a male, it is a human being, it's correct.
right,
But the subject is not reason.
right, doesn't,
It's correct? You understand?
yeah,
She is human is an assumption.
Yeah. She is human because she is male. Yes, it is male, it's human always, but even she is not male. Huh? This is number 4, I think it is 4. I'm talking about
Number
number 4.
4, yeah.
Right? Because there's a because the impermanent, because that machine is was that machine is mara was that the mata the kind of machine is not that kind machine is mara was.
So here in the text, it says that an awareness that apprehends sound to be impermanent from the sign of being an object of apprehension by an eye consciousness. See, the sound is not an object of apprehension by eye consciousness, right? It's an object of apprehension by ear consciousness. So it's not an eye consciousness object. And so therefore, of course, the sound is not bad. But of course, the object of an apprehension, object of apprehension by an eye consciousness is impermanent.
Right?
And sound is impermanent. So that trying to prove that sound is impermanent by the reason of being an object of apprehension by an eye consciousness is not good. So therefore, the reason doesn't establish the sound to be impermanent. So the sound being impermanent is correct.
You know, machine is
The object of apprehension by an eye consciousness being impermanent is also correct.
you know, that machine is
So saying that sound is object of apprehension by eye consciousness is wrong.
that bechamas lorate human being is kasna marilana lora human being is correct. It's male also that necessary human being is correct, but lora is not male. No, this is I'm talking about this life. Yeah, you understand the how the going walking? Okay, now we stop here to come. Time is gone.
So now what is saying is
Ah, Thomas Chesham, Tashan, and the Chigor, Shima Chigor, Chigor. Just Shiva Thomas, Shina Matavi, Chava Timi Mange Bayes, Shita Dramata to Lotava, Tate could Jinse, Yajatelama, Dachi Matavi Shiva, Teneda could Dash Shiva and Bahamoji, Shina Matavi, Chava Timi Hamagochi. Taku Dar Matavi, the guy Shiva Lapsha, and the time to Jinse Tata and the Kona Haku Martin Jinse.
So this is the fifth one is like what I said earlier. For it to be a correct syllogism, the sound, the sound is impermanent because it's a product. So the sound has to be someone who knows the sound, is a product, and who knows that if it's a product, it has to be impermanent, right? So to that person, then you can prove the sound is impermanent because of being a product. So because it's a product, you understand that. Because if it's a product, it has to be impermanent, you understand that. Therefore, it will become understandable for you to say that sound is impermanent because of the reason being product. So the answer is somebody, but if you don't know, if that person doesn't know that, then it applies to this fifth one. So the fifth is a correct assuming consciousness for which the reason exists but is not settled. Is, for example, an awareness that apprehends sound to be impermanent from the sign of being a product without its having been ascertained by valid cognition that sound is product, right? So someone who doesn't know sound is product, it will not work. And so of sound as impermanent, that person has not settled it because he doesn't know.
It's good. This is easy to understand? Right? You got it? Good job. Now next week we have debate, okay? Now this is we say, okay. Now, okay, this is a food, okay? This is apple. This is also apple. Now I say this is, I don't know this is apple. I don't know is apple also always food. I don't know. I just say it is food because apple. I just say I didn't know. I said this is a food. I said this is apple, but I didn't know this apple is food or the apple, and if it is apple, necessary always food. I just said the apple is food because apple, but I didn't know. I just guessed. I just guessed this is apple. I just guessed if it is apple always food. I just guessed. I didn't know. Therefore, I said, yes, it is a great reason, but I didn't know. Therefore, this apple, I didn't know this apple, I just guessed. It is apple, now it is food because apple. Or the reason is correct, but I didn't know.
But it has to be correct.
It is has correct.
Right. But if I said this is an apple,
Yeah.
then
Oh, this is different. No, it's not even correct.
Yes, it has to be a correct reason. It's just that it's not settled in a sense that person doesn't know it.
Correct? Yes? Good job, okay? Be memorized, yes.
Isn't just to try to finish this thought, isn't another way to say this that the subject has to be established as such?
The karo.
The subject has to be established as what it is.
So, you mean like the predicate, right?
Got it?
Say it again?
You mean the predicate, such as what?
No, the subject, the apple,
Yeah.
the apple has to be established as an apple.
Yes, that has established as a fruit. By the reason being an apple. So like here, you can say, oh, the Fuji apple is a fruit because it's apple, right? So if you say that, then that will be a good reason. But you're saying that in this case, it is saying like someone who knows, someone who doesn't know that, Fuji apple is an apple, because it has a strange, as a shape or something, it has a name, different name, and therefore it says, oh, I don't know if it's apple or not. And then so someone who doesn't know that apple has to be fruit. And to that person, if you say Fuji apple is a fruit because it's an apple, then it's a correct reason. And from every aspect it's correct. The Fuji apple is the apple, and if it's an apple, it has to be a fruit. That's all correct. It's just that the person doesn't know. Therefore, even though it has the reason, it is not settled for that person.
Good. You got it? Good job. Okay. I think we stop here. It's complicated. It's a little bit easy. Or more complicated. Yeah, if you think about more reason, is really, you can develop our, logic like a lawyer. You have to be very easy to thinking. The monks always debate. If he said that, I would say that. If he said that, I would say that. If they didn't say before, they already know. If he said that, I can do that. If he said that, like lawyer, right? They debate. Therefore, if you become a good lawyer, you need to study that debate. You become good. Okay, thank you. Lots of puja.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Okay, we'll have to eat apple.
page 39. Sashi Poki Shun me sa sum ijo wei mun zel ta tu ne gyur chin idam guratnamandawa kamiryatayam. From my two collections, Vast in Space, that I have amassed been working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds must demise blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach the state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my life's minutes. May I find the best of complete great paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhists by practicing, using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion from the minds of all beings. With the points of the path as I have discerned them, may I uphold Buddhist teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious have not yet spread or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddhist teachings be nourished for a long time. By even this great course to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhists and their children, may all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhists. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chen Rezi remain in life till samsara's end. Page 49, Long Life Prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of law, sustaining, preserving, and spreading my victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes the desiring the three jewels, favor myself and others, your disciples, please. And page 57, the dedication prayers. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha's name, place each and every sentient being without exception in the state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. Igme sewe chen chen raising, dreaming campaign, wampo jampelyam, kam chen pei sugen song kapa, Sangrape Shabla Soatir. Anybody got any? Oh, okay.
Thank you. Marianne wasn't able to make it today, so just a couple announcements. This Saturday, September 24th, from 2 o'clock to 4 p.m. Is Family Day. Geshe will be leading a child-friendly tour of the center, explaining some of the art and objects. And then outside there'll be arts and crafts and games and snacks. On Sunday, the 25th, from 4 to 5:45, Salama Chopa, Guru Puja. And then coming up in October, Venerable Choki will be here from Wednesday, October 5th through Sunday, October 16th. In that time, there'll be 2 weekend-long teachings and then some teachings during the week. Stand by for, there'll be email communications going out about volunteer needs and also about the potluck lunches for the 2 weekend teachings. So check the calendar for details. Thank you.